Welcome, welcome. This is G. You're watching Allastrology, and we're talking about the total lunar eclipse for March 2026. We're going to go over some of the details. If you didn't see the general overview video, there is a general overview video for all the eclipses of 2026. It is an overview, and I, of course, share some details because it wouldn't be me if I didn't. So it's a great video to watch in addition to this one. Because if you pair them up together, you're going to get a plethora, like a ton of additional details that you wouldn't get otherwise. There's just so much to cover. It's a little bit easier to go in bits, right? Break it up. So, with that, March 3rd, 2026, moon energy, full moon energy with lunar eclipses. Here it is in Virgo. It's a full moon in Virgo at 12 degrees. And some would call this Metatron, the Merkaba. Usually, because of the configurations that are present, things easily occur. And we want to know what are those things that are easily going to occur. And not just easily going to occur, but it's full moon energy. And full moon energy talks about completions, endings. A cycle is over. Now, let's go a little bit deeper. We have to pay attention to Mercury. This puts Mercury as the ruler of the eclipse. It's what I'm thinking, what I'm learning, what I'm analyzing, the details, the data. Yeah, the details and the data. Mercury is all about sharing information. It's exchanging information. It's very practical, really down to earth. It connects the dots. I'm recording this in the month of November. And there is so much insane shit right now going on just in the United States alone. So we're still talking about Mercury because we're gathering it and we're connecting the dots. Be the revelation and the revealing of information that may have been in, oh, I don't know, whether it's letters, emails, snail mail, whatever the hell it is, because it's Mercury ruled. Mercury's a writer, and possibly the release. It's a release, it's a culmination, it's an ending, but we got the fixer involved here. So this is really kind of a fascinating time. And because it's an eclipse, it's a bigger release than normal. Now, I also want to say right here that for those of you who have objects at 12 degrees, and we'll talk about an orb in a minute, but for right now, let's just work with that 12 degrees, okay? When we talk about the 12 degrees, yeah, it's more Neptune and Pisces energy. Yeah, more Neptune and Pisces. So government figures, heads of state, politicians, Congress members, all the departments within the government. You think about that, right? You think about the different government agencies and the branches and thereof. But we also think of the back room, the private conversations, the Pisces energy, and 12 degrees and the Fortuna at 24 are all Pisces energy, all Neptune energy, which, if we go back to like ancient astrology, we're talking Jupiter energy. Pisces is also about releases and completions and a finality. I've accomplished, I'm done. The history. We're talking soul stories, soul history, the soul connections. Tribal energy. What about the soul's tribe? The node itself is at 8 degrees. 8 degrees. The soul's tribe, the 8 degrees, the past, the trauma, the energetic bonds. A Mercury thing talks about names type of thing, right? And we have more information. And so we're able to connect more of the pieces of the puzzle together, or more pieces of can you guess what this is? We're connecting them and we're getting images. We're getting ideas. We're getting closer to what we understand to be the truth. The South Node at that 8 degrees, folks, that's a Pluto degree, which is about change. It's about deep change, changing some sort of a dynamic from somebody else's soul story and soul history. So obviously, for you, if you've got things in your chart like between 8 and 12, especially around that 8-degree mark, because this is a big event. This is a release. It's a let go. It's I'm done. We're over. We completed this. Sure, it can be practical and mundane, like my job is done. It can be that. It can be I'm moving out of a department. It can be I'm still at the same company, but I'm going to somewhere else, right? It can be I'm going to work in the same line of work, but I'm working with a different company. You follow? Because I realized I worded that a little weird. So this energy can look quite a few different ways for a lot of folks, depending upon how you use your Virgo energy. Like, what do you do on a regular daily basis? What are you doing for work? What about your health? What about your health? Because this could even talk about like the mental health of people who have positions of power. Again, heads of state, governments, lawyers, judges, all the politicians, all the public figures, but who hold power positions, presidential energy too. Mercury's in a retrograde. In Pisces, the energy we were already talking about because of the degrees, Mercury's at 20 degrees, Scorpio energy, endings, closures, releases. Now, can this have something to do with tariffs? For sure. That's also this number 20. It's insurances, insurance money. We think of healthcare and the people not getting their healthcare, not getting the proper finances because we just don't make enough money to be able to afford our own healthcare. Like pretty much nobody does unless you're really well off. So this can be that too. I don't want to overshadow that. Okay. Pisces energy can be confusing. It's about the back room, the boardroom, stuff, conversations behind closed doors, but backstage, like you're not privy to that information. It's hidden from us, right? It's totally hidden from us. Hidden communications, Mercury and Pisces. 20 degrees, hidden past communications, Mercury and Pisces. So it's like, we got Pluto at both ends for this eclipse by the nodes, and doubly because Mercury is at that 20 degrees, which yes is a Pluto Scorpio degree. Well, look where Mars is, at 0 degrees in Pisces. So there is action being taken at this time, and we should expect that the actions that are being taken, whether this is soldiers on water, that's a possibility. There's actions being taken possibly within the Justice Department, DOJ. Jupiter is the ancient ruler here of Pisces. Okay. So lawyer energy, Congress, this is all strong, and there's actions being taken with governmental energy. You follow? Mars is at 0, so it is an extreme degree. It's what you would call initiation kind of kickoff point. It's not 1 degree yet, but this is more extreme. This is more of like, holy crap, crisis point type of energy. Something has to give. I have to do something now. The Merkaba. Okay. And with that, I mentioned that something will happen. We know it's about a release. We know it's about an ending. We know, yeah, maybe there's some other stuff going on with government jobs and, again, maybe members of whether they're within the cabinet, um, whether it's, different branches and departments of the government, because as of right now, uh, it's very hard to predict because things are very unstable in I'm hearing the big house. It's the White House, but I'm just letting you know. Things are unstable. Things are really unstable. And so with that instability, because Pisces energy, the 12 degrees of that Virgo stuff and the 24 degrees and the Pisces energy itself and Neptune, like it's not just hospitals, it's prisons as well. And that doesn't mean, hey, I'm putting handcuffs on you and locking you up, but it does mean somebody's not going to be seen. Someone's going to disappear. Now, what does that mean? It could mean you go on vacation, for sure. It could mean somebody gets sick and so they're out of the spotlight. Sure, something could happen to somebody and we just aren't hearing about it. We're not hearing about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Ways. This may also have something to do with all of the insane I mean, freaking illegal ICE activity, which has been so, they have been absolutely 1000% domestic terrorists, is what's been happening. So this can be part of that too, because the domestic stuff, woo, that's Virgo. That's domestic stuff in your neighborhood for sure. Courtrooms, lawyers, but judges for sure. And absolutely the history and the past and what happened with the public and with the abuses of power. I have to mention Pluto because it rules a couple of the degrees part of this eclipse. 4 degrees is moon energy. It's the past, but it is also the public. And it wants change. And we have learned the public remembered its power in the United States. Finally, the public remembered its power. Jupiter finally gave the public the ability to recall that when you combine, when you create unity, you have the power to influence those who are supposed to represent you. It's your job actually to hold them accountable. And if you don't hold them accountable, they will go as far as you let them. Look at this. Speaking of Pisces degrees, look at, can you freaking believe this? Chiron in Aries at 24, Eris at 24, and a Jupiter Pluto midpoint at 24, which talks about change. So wounds of the past, wounds done by the administration against my freedoms, against my body, based on my appearance, government energy. And with it all in Aries, we think Mars and we think any of the federalized armed folks. So whether it's National Guard trying to be federalized or trying to be assigned to your location and whatnot, even though judges have been throwing that out, because when your freedoms are no longer, then the people definitely find a way, and they make the time to fight back, to revolt, and to let their voices be heard. And Chiron and Eris together have been a big part of rebellions and a huge part of protesting. Change is here with this eclipse. Some of those people in power are trying to figure out, or have by now figured out, a way to change talking points, to change their own narrative. They have lost the faith and the hope of the people. And with that, they're absolutely between January and this eclipse, there for sure may be strong rumblings, more rumblings of impeach and convict. For an orb on this eclipse, we are looking for objects in Virgo at 8 to 14 degrees of Virgo. 8 to 14 degrees of Virgo energy. If you have anything there, a release is occurring. But remember, it doesn't always have to be a release in a way of, oh no. It can be a release of, I was ready for this. Because Virgo has the ability, with Mercury's power, to be really rational about it and to search and seek out options to make a decision, you see? And that's why this is key. Options to make a decision. Networking is big with Mercury. Networking is big. So normally when we have options, we feel better. We feel more prepared to make that release because we're done. They're done. Our group energy, our soul story, we have maybe completed some of those lessons, and it's time to move on. And this can look like that for you in your personal life, as well as on the grand stage.